We can do this review warm, or we could do it cold.
Hi guys, this is TSF, and today we are back with our reviews, and we're starting right off the bat with, well, with
Din
this,
Djarin,
yeah,
the real star of the show.
that's gonna create a lot of controversy. But as you can see, we have the Mandalorian, or otherwise known as Mubarak, but he's the Mandalorian today. So, Book of Boba Fett. We're gonna discuss that today, and it was a very decent season. I mean, the expectations from the Mandalorian season 2, they definitely set up a little bit of a high bar for this particular season. However, I feel like that this season really found its footing, like after like the second episode or so. It really did, like, just jammed its feet on the Tatooine surface, if you think about it. Mubarak, what do you think? What did you think about the season?
If you want me to be very honest,
Mhm.
this shouldn't have been a show.
Okay.
Boba Fett should have been just in Mandalorian season 3, and we could have had this whole storyline in that,
Okay.
before Din Djarin eventually goes to Mandalore and becomes ruler of that planet, which, if you haven't seen season 2, I don't even know why you're watching this review, because if you haven't seen season 2, you can't watch Book of Boba Fett, and then you don't know what's going on.
True.
So, yeah, this shouldn't have been his own show.
Okay.
I feel that was kind of unnecessary. And I
It's
was about
more-
to quit after that pilot. That
Okay.
first episode was so horrible. I'm like, it's only because I love Star Wars I'm here.
Okay.
What do you say?
For me, particularly, Star Wars has just been like the movies. I haven't watched Clone Wars or other animated series either. So for me, it was more of a fill in the blanks, if you think about it. So at that point, we get to know like how he made it out of the Sarlacc pit and how he was in that particular attire that we saw him in the Mandalorian season 2. So it filled up a lot of those blanks, and I personally like that. And there's this whole other character development arc to him, because from what I understood, thanks to some of my friends who are well versed with Star Wars, that this was a very solid character development for Boba Fett, because Boba Fett is known to be this really reckless, ruthless bounty hunter.
Yes.
But for him to go from bounty hunter to daimyo, like to an actual sort of a crime lord who cares about, like now he's not a one-man army anymore. He's not a one-man show anymore. He has a community to protect. And personally, I like that. I was like, okay,
it was good.
This is a facet of the character that they want to take it forward. And given that this character is old now, this character has had its age and its saga all the way to this point where he really wants to just have a different perspective of life. So
True.
that is something that I really liked, and that's why I sort of feel like, okay, the season, although many would regard it as a filler season until the Mandalorian season 3 strikes out, but for me, it's filled out a lot of those blanks. Like, okay, this is what it is, and this is the power struggle or the power gap that Jabba the Hutt's absence creates, and these are the responsibilities that pretty much come with it. But of course, this season, like other seasons in the Mandalorian, it's accompanied by a lot of Easter eggs, and of course,
yes,
amazing cameos. And of course, this is like the biggest spoiler of all. So if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett yet, quit it right now. But Luke Skywalker, man, Luke Skywalker.
Okay, so I realized that since you haven't watched any of the animated stuff, that would be your biggest cameo. But for me, who's been a hardcore Star Wars fan, who's watched every single piece of animated or whatever they have, and I've even read the books and played most of the games. For me, the biggest cameo was Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, yes.
Cad Bane, because I
Unfortunately,
lost my shit
I
when
don't,
he
I don't
showed
know
up on
him.
screen.
I don't know him.
Exactly,
So for us
I
out
realized
there
that.
who have never watched animated, could you sum up who Cad Bane is?
He is, let's say he was the best bounty hunter of his time. He's fought the Jedi. He's been attached with the Hutts. I can't believe I didn't see this coming, but he has history of being employed by the Hutts, those the fat slug creatures, and he's been up against Fennec Shand as well. So and this is all in the animated series. So for him to show up in this is like the perfect something. One thing I feel that they should have done is they should have had him face off with Fennec again, because in the latest animated show we got, um, the Bad Batch, which is about some clone troopers who have these mutations. Fennec Shan's in that as well, with the actress voicing her character in that. So I
Oh,
feel like there
awesome.
should have been a little Cad Bane face off, because that's what happened in one of the episodes over there. Apart from that, I love the show after episode 2, because when they really started building up that pace, it really got good.
Yeah.
Episode 3 and 4 like kind of dipped, because 2 was like peak. And I'm talking about the Boba Fett parts. And then when this guy shows up, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy the whole time. I was like, what? And then we get to see him, and we got to see a lot of stuff, and we're just, oh my god, it is crazy. We have Ahsoka, we have Luke, we have Cad Bane, all in one episode. I'm like, wow, this is the best Mandalorian season ever.
And then you go like, oh no, wait,
I'm
it's
like,
Book of
who's
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Fett? We don't know Boba Fett. No, it
But
isn't.
I really
It's
want to
my
talk
show now.
about.
Look at me. I am the Mando now.
I don't know. That's true. That's true. But
I have the green to represent Boba,
Boba.
but we all know who really is in charge here.
But what I really want to talk about is Luke's CGI. Like, wow, it's
Wow, right?
gazillion times better than what we got in the Mandalorian season 2 finale. But and
Definitely.
apparently they what I got to know is that they hired a guy from YouTube who probably made one of the most convincing deep fakes after the Mandalorian season 2 finale dropped. So what he
Wow.
did was that he made like the most convincing one ever, better than the show. And Disney hired him to work on Book of Boba Fett, actually, and that's why you see Luke as good as he is. And
As good as he is, yeah.
yeah, and Mark Hamill, by the way, was also there, and he provided all of his voice direction to the voice actor. I think the name is Graham Lambert something, who's voicing Luke Skywalker here, and Mark Hamill was probably there directing him. And what I really liked about it is like, this is the Luke Skywalker everybody wanted to see. Like,
yes.
this is the Luke Skywalker, and everybody I talked to, they're like, yeah, this is the Luke Skywalker that should have been there. And the Last Jedi just doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
This is the Luke Skywalker we got from the expanded universe, the books, the comics, the games, everything. This was the Luke Skywalker. And we're not going to talk about that trilogy, because
of course
stuff happened. Okay. We all know that this is Star Wars now. Okay. This silver helmet represents all of Star Wars.
No, that's true. And what about the finale, by the way? What were your thoughts about the finale?
It was messy. It was messy, but as if you're going to look at the show as a filler show because of stuff that's going to happen in season 3 of Mandalorian, it's acceptable, but it is messy. It was kind of all over the place, tiny stuff that didn't make sense, like what's going on, and you got some messiness, and then you got the Rancor, which was freaking amazing. I'm like,
Rancor was insane.
Like the moment he flew off, I'm like, he's gonna bring his Rancor. There's no other reason for him to go off.
I was actually thinking he was gonna get his ship, the slave. I was thinking that,
but it's no longer called the Slave One. Okay, that's a no.
Yeah,
it's just now his fire spray gunship, which is okay. That's we'll not talk about that aspect. We're not here for the controversy. But yeah, that would make more sense. But why tease the Rancor if they're not going to use it?
True. No, that's very
We
true. I
all
mean,
we all know that him coming in on the Rancor was one of the coolest entries of all time.
true. No, that's very
Yeah.
true. While the finale was a bit messed up, but I feel like it provides the basis of a lot of things that could be set up later. Like, for example, a lot of the theories are that Cad Bane is not dead. He's been killed before, and the kind of species that he has, he, from what I got to know, of course, this is all borrowed information because I have never seen the animated series, but from what I know, that he is very hard to kill. Like, he has been in
Oh,
these situations before.
definitely. He's died
Okay.
like 4 times already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And okay, so here's the best part of this. In the first, well, not the first, but the second animated series, there is a deleted scene where he faces off with a young Boba Fett. And the dent that Boba has in his helmet is because of Cad Bane. So he gets shot by Boba in the head, and he shoots Boba in the head, a young Boba. Boba gets that dent in his helmet. Cad Bane gets shot in the head. When he comes back in the next animated series, well, not the next, but the next one, he has a metal plate covering his wound from that. So it is implied that that did happen, even though that is a deleted scene. That did happen. So him showing up in this, he has his metal plate.
Wow.
I mean,
Amazing.
obviously they didn't show it, but he has that plate. So he has survived headshots in the past. So, he might be back. Would it make sense for him to be back? Maybe, maybe not. But, if he's back, it's good. If he's not, it's all right.
A lot of people I talked to, like, they said that, Cad Bane was more of a mentor for young Boba Fett. And at one point, yes. At one point, yes. And it's sort of fitting that, if Boba Fett was the one to kill him finally, so that would cement Boba Fett's status as that particular bounty hunter who's at the top of the chain now. And yes. I feel like if that were to happen, I would be okay with it, because personally, from what my perception of Boba is, like, yeah, now he's more of a family man, if you think about it. But at the same time, he is not to be taken lightly. That's the whole idea. But yeah, that's true. I think that's pretty much it for the season that we could discuss. So shall we move to ratings? What would your rating be?
You want me to take? Okay, here's a question for you. How do you want me to rate this? Do you want me to rate this as a Boba Fett show, as a Mandalorian show, or overall?
Or as a Star Wars show, if you think about it.
No. The 3 options I've laid out in front of you. You go with this.
Okay, since it's a Book of Boba Fett review, so from Boba Fett.
We can do this Boba Fett, or we can do this Mandalorian.
What's funny is, like, your voice actually sounds like the Mandalorian's voice if you just like make it a bit more raspy because it's inside the helmet. But yeah, so yeah, rated as a Boba Fett season, I would say
6.
Okay.
6.5. Let's be generous. 6.5 for it as being a Boba Fett show.
Okay.
If we're gonna take this as a Mandalorian show, which this was intended as Mandalorian 2.5. Then I give this an 8. Okay. If you want to take it overall, then a good 7.5.
Fair enough. Okay. You know what? I'll use your rating system as well. Because for me, as a Boba Fett season, for me, who has never watched the animated series, so of course the only thing I have to compare with is the information that I have right now with this season. So personally, I really like the story with the Tusken Raiders, the development that he has from there, and then of course I really like the whole daimyo and caring about the community, and like how he's showing restraint, like those signs of maturity. So for me, it was that. So I would say, as a Boba Fett show, I'll give it an 8. As a Mandalorian, like 2.5 show, of course, you got the Mandalorian struggling with the Darksaber. You have him reuniting with Grogu. You have Ahsoka and Luke showing up and everything. That puts it at about a 9. So overall, mine becomes also like an 8.5. So your 7.5, my 8.5. Put it together, it's an 8 out of 10, which is a decent rating for this show.
Which is a decent rating.
Yes. Yeah. Because personally, I really, after the whole after what we got from episode 7 to 9, I see things going in a very, very good direction in this scenario. Like, like it's a direction that every Star Wars fan would like to have. And particularly with us seeing Luke, of course, there would not be a season of Luke, because they can't just keep on de-aging him all the time. It must be a lot of work. But at the same time, we're just glad that we are getting this young Luke in this particular century. So yeah, so 8 out of 10, which is a decent score. And we'll end our review over here. Let us know in the comment section below if you think Cad Bane survives, if you think that Boba Fett needs another season, and if you, like us, cannot wait for The Mandalorian Season 3. So this is TSF. We're signing off.
Or the Obi-Wan show, which is dropping
the Obi-Wan
this year.
show. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I forgot about it.
It's going to be separate. But high hopes for that.
High hopes for that, indeed. We're going to have Hayden Christensen in there. We're going to have Darth Vader in there.
We're going to have everyone in there.
Oh, man, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy.
It is going to be spicy. Yep.
So with that, we sign off now. And we end this review by saying one thing. This is the way.
This is the way.
Bye.